combination instant breakfast. You're gonna love it.
This is the #1 best-selling pot pie in America.
In the culinary landscape of the 70s, some foods were better left in the past, buried beneath disco beats and polyester fashion. Life in the 70s had a distinct flavor, but not all bites were worth savoring. These culinary relics were more like food experiments gone wrong. From peculiar flavor combinations to downright unappetizing textures, these foods from the 70s are a taste bud time machine you'll be hesitant to board. So come along as we delve into the 20 worst foods from the 1970s nobody wants back.
Top of a stove.
Is there anything new you can do with tuna?
In the 1970s, tuna noodle casserole was a curious culinary creation that garnered mixed feelings. This dish was crafted by combining canned tuna, egg noodles, cream of mushroom soup, and sometimes peas, topped with a crispy layer of crushed potato chips. The ingredients were simple and affordable, making it a popular choice for budget-conscious households. Despite its humble origins, tuna noodle casserole faced criticism for its distinctive taste and texture. The combination of canned tuna and cream of mushroom soup resulted in a somewhat mushy consistency, and the overall flavor was often perceived as bland or odd. The strong aroma of the dish also contributed to its unfavorable reputation. One reason for its dislike was the prevalence of processed and canned ingredients, which were considered less appealing than fresh alternatives. The casserole's lack of variety in flavor and texture, coupled with its pungent smell, made it less appealing to those with more adventurous taste buds. Over time, the negative perception led to the decline of tuna noodle casserole as a popular choice, becoming a symbol of a bygone culinary era that many are not eager to revive. Now, if that's not enough culinary drama from the 1970s, here's another delicacy that sparked debates with its weird blend of flavors.
Sure, from the family that makes Jones pork sausage. Try some.
Liverwurst, a German liver sausage popular in the 1970s USA, had a unique blend of flavors that divided opinions. Made from finely ground pork or beef liver mixed with spices and often other meats, liverwurst was then encased in a sausage casing or sold in a spreadable form. The ingredients included onions, garlic, and various seasonings, contributing to its distinctive taste. While some enjoyed the rich, savory flavor of liverwurst, it faced criticism for its strong and acquired taste. The pronounced liver flavor, along with the sometimes gritty texture, made it unappealing to those unfamiliar with organ meats. Additionally, the distinct aroma of liverwurst contributed to its polarizing nature. Liverwurst fell out of favor, partly due to changing dietary preferences and a growing awareness of healthier eating habits. The dish's high cholesterol content and association with organ meats led to a decline in popularity. As tastes evolved, liverwurst became less common on American tables, with its pungent flavor and unique composition making it a less mainstream choice compared to other deli meats.
Like this dazzling beauty, a glamour salad made with new apple jello.
In the 1970s, gelatin salads, commonly known as Jell-O salads, were a quirky culinary trend in the USA. These wobbly concoctions were made by mixing gelatin with an assortment of ingredients like vegetables or even meats. The preparation involved dissolving the gelatin powder in hot water, followed by adding cold water and allowing the mixture to set until it achieved a jiggly consistency. The ingredients used in these salads were a curious combination of sweet and savory elements. People tossed vegetables, fruits, and sometimes meats into the gelatin mix, creating a bizarre medley of flavors. Canned fruits, shredded carrots, and even tuna were common additions. Despite their creative combinations, Jell-O salads gained notoriety for their peculiar taste and texture. Many found the blending of sweet gelatin with savory ingredients off-putting, resulting in an unappetizing dish. The clash of flavors and the odd sensation of biting into a wobbly, meat-infused gelatin contributed to their overall dislike. Over time, this culinary oddity fell out of favor, and today it stands as a curious artifact of 1970s American cuisine. If you thought the clash of sweet gelatin and savory ingredients was a culinary roller coaster, let's turn the spotlight to TV dinners that became a convenient yet criticized sensation in the 70s.
German, Chinese, Italian.
TV dinners became a popular go-to meal for busy families in the USA back in the 70s. These frozen meals were a convenient solution, typically comprising a main dish, vegetables, and dessert, all neatly compartmentalized on a metal tray. The preparation involved simply popping the tray into the oven, making them a time-saving option for households. The ingredients of TV dinners varied, but they commonly included processed meats, mashed potatoes, and frozen vegetables. However, despite their convenience, these meals faced criticism for being bland and perceived as unhealthful. The freezing process sometimes affected the taste and texture of the food, leading to a reputation for lackluster flavor. Moreover, concerns arose regarding the nutritional value of TV dinners, as they often contained high levels of sodium, preservatives, and additives. Critics argued that the convenience of these frozen meals came at the expense of health, contributing to a perception of them as a less-than-ideal dietary choice. While TV dinners remain a nostalgic symbol of the 1970s, the criticism surrounding their taste and nutritional content has led to a shift in consumer preferences toward fresher and more wholesome meal options in subsequent decades.
When you buy a ham, you never quite know what you're getting. Some have water added.
Canned ham emerged as a convenient culinary solution in the 1970s USA. This product, typically made from chopped and pressed pork, was sealed in a can, providing an easy-to-store and readily available protein source. The manufacturing process involved cooking the ham and then sealing it in a can to preserve its shelf life. However, the texture and taste of canned ham often failed to win over contemporary palates. The processing method led to a distinct texture that some found rubbery or unnatural. The taste was sometimes criticized for being overly salty or having a processed flavor, deviating from the savory goodness associated with fresh ham. While the canned ham was embraced for its long shelf life and convenience, evolving tastes and a desire for more natural flavors have caused it to fall out of favor in modern times. Today, many people opt for fresh or minimally processed meats, leaving canned ham as a culinary relic of the past.
Fruit cocktail is too big an idea to cut into little pieces.
In the 1970s, fruit cocktails in heavy syrup gained popularity as a convenient canned fruit option. Typically containing a mix of diced fruits like peaches, pears, grapes, and cherries, the fruit cocktail was preserved in a heavy syrup for extended shelf life. Despite its convenience, the overly sweet and mushy nature of the fruit cocktail became a point of criticism. The heavy syrup, while serving as a preservative, often overwhelmed the natural flavors of the fruits, resulting in an excessively sweet taste that lacked the freshness of real fruit. The texture of the fruits also suffered from the canning process, rendering them soft and somewhat mushy. As culinary tastes evolved, there was a shift away from overly processed and sweetened foods, contributing to the decline in the popularity of fruit cocktails in heavy syrup. Modern preferences lean towards fresh and naturally sweet fruit options, making the canned alternative, with its cloying sweetness and compromised texture, less appealing to contemporary palates. Moving past the culinary missteps of fruit cocktail in heavy syrup, let's explore the world of ambrosia salad, a flavor profile that never quite made the cut. Ambrosia salad, a staple of 1970s American cuisine, is a concoction blending canned fruits, typically pineapple, mandarin oranges, and maraschino cherries, with mini marshmallows and coconut. The preparation involved simply combining these ingredients and often folding in whipped cream or a creamy dressing. However, the reception of ambrosia salad was mixed, with critiques centering on its sweetness and textural complexity. The addition of marshmallows and sweetened coconut intensified the overall sweetness, and the canned fruits, while convenient, lacked the freshness found in their natural counterparts. Texturally, the salad could be confusing, as the softness of the canned fruits clashed with the chewiness of the marshmallows and the crunchiness of the coconut. Some found this mishmash of textures disconcerting and preferred more harmonious combinations in their salads.
My wife, Angela, I met her in Italy. Smart, and can she cook?
Boiled vegetables, often associated with 1970s cuisine, were notorious for being overcooked to the point of losing both texture and flavor. The preparation involved simmering vegetables in water until they became excessively soft, resulting in a mushy consistency that lacked the crispness and vibrancy of fresh produce. Commonly used vegetables included carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower, which, when subjected to prolonged boiling, would lose their natural colors, turn dull, and become unappealingly limp. The overcooking process not only robbed the vegetables of their nutritional value, but also rendered them bland and devoid of the characteristic taste that fresh, lightly cooked vegetables offer. The tendency to boil vegetables into submission was part of a broader culinary trend of the time, where convenience sometimes took precedence over flavor and texture. This overcooking approach has since fallen out of favor with contemporary culinary preferences, emphasizing methods that retain the natural essence, crunch, and nutritional benefits of vegetables, showcasing a shift towards fresher and more vibrant dining experiences. Breaking free from the clutches of boiled vegetables, let's investigate the curious case of Spam, a food that still haunts taste buds.
You don't say ham, you say spam. Spam is real spice. Ham, you don't say.
Spam, a canned meat product introduced in the 1930s and notably consumed during the 1970s, had a mixed reputation. While it garnered some fans for its convenience and versatility, it faced criticism for being overly salty and highly processed. Made from a combination of pork shoulder, ham, salt, water, sugar, and sodium nitrite, Spam underwent a canned cooking process that allowed for long shelf life and easy storage. However, the high salt content contributed to its reputation for an intense and sometimes overpowering saltiness. The processed nature of Spam also attracted negative attention. Some criticized its texture and perceived lack of natural flavor compared to fresh meats. The association of Spam with wartime rations and budget-friendly meals may have contributed to its somewhat stigmatized image.
To 1 cup of water, add 1 cup of Sunshine full cream powdered milk.
Powdered milk, a common household item in the 1970s, was utilized for its long shelf life and convenience. However, it often faced criticism for its taste and texture, especially when compared to fresh milk. The preparation of powdered milk involved mixing the dry powder with water to reconstitute it into a liquid form. Despite efforts to mimic the flavor of fresh milk, powdered milk often fell short in taste. Many found it to have a distinct and somewhat artificial flavor, lacking the richness and creaminess associated with fresh dairy. Texture was another point of contention. Reconstituted powdered milk tended to have a thinner consistency compared to fresh milk, leading to a less satisfying mouthfeel. The granular nature of the powder sometimes resulted in a grainy texture that further contributed to the less-than-ideal sensory experience. While powdered milk offered practicality and extended shelf life, the taste and texture drawbacks led to a preference for fresh milk when available. In subsequent decades, advancements in food processing and refrigeration technologies have diminished the reliance on powdered milk, making fresh milk a more accessible and preferred choice for many households.
Here is the first one to be made available to the public. Space Food Sticks.
Space Food Sticks, marketed as a futuristic and convenient snack, made their debut in the 1970s. Promoted as a high-tech, space-age food suitable for the modern lifestyle, these cylindrical treats were developed to provide quick energy and nutrition. Despite their futuristic appeal, Space Food Sticks struggled to win people over due to issues with taste and texture. Many consumers found them to be somewhat dry, dense, and lacking the enjoyable flavors associated with traditional snacks. The attempt to create a space-inspired, nutrient-packed food source often resulted in a compromise on the sensory aspects that people value in their snacks. The texture of Space Food Sticks also faced criticism, as the dry and chewy consistency failed to match the expectations of a satisfying and enjoyable eating experience. While they aimed to capture the imagination with their association with space exploration, the taste and texture challenges limited their success, and Space Food Sticks gradually faded from the market. Now that we've survived the era of Space Food Sticks, it's time to dive into another culinary time capsule from the 1970s that had its fair share of critics. Fondue, a social and interactive dining experience popularized in the 1970s, involved dipping bread, vegetables, or fruit into melted cheese or chocolate. While the concept was fun, the success of a fondue gathering often hinged on the quality of the ingredients, with the wrong choices leading to memorable disasters. For cheese fondue, using high-quality cheese was crucial. Opting for a blend of flavorful cheeses was essential to achieving the right balance of taste and texture. Poor quality cheese could result in a clumpy and unappealing fondue, ruining the experience. Overheating the cheese mixture was another common pitfall, leading to a stringy and less than appetizing consistency. Similarly, chocolate fondue requires the use of good quality chocolate. Choosing the wrong chocolate or overheating it could result in a grainy texture or a burnt taste, detracting from the indulgent appeal of the dessert.
Now comes news of a way to get at Armor Star Vienna sausage and potted meat faster.
Vienna sausages, a quirky canned meat from the 1970s USA, stirred mixed feelings. These mini sausages were crafted by blending mechanically separated chicken, pork, and beef, then stuffing the mixture into tin cans. The ingredients might not have won any culinary awards, often including the less popular parts of animals, giving them a peculiar texture and taste. The dislike for Vienna sausages stemmed from their distinct flavor, which many found challenging to embrace. The canned concoction faced criticism for its processed nature, deviating from the more familiar fresh sausages. The manufacturing process involved grinding and blending meat, sometimes with additives, leading to an acquired taste that didn't resonate with everyone. Despite being a convenient snack, their uncanny resemblance to tiny hot dogs didn't win hearts. The blend of meats, combined with the canning process, resulted in a unique and divisive flavor. While we bid farewell to the disastrous Vienna sausages, here's another culinary misstep from the 70s that will make you cringe.
With a new rich ground aroma and rich taste closer than ever to fresh brewed coffee.
Instant coffee, a quick caffeine fix from the 1970s, revolutionized morning routines. Its production involved freeze-drying or spray-drying brewed coffee into a powder, offering unmatched convenience. The ingredients were simple: coffee beans brewed into a liquid, then transformed into a dehydrated form. Despite its popularity, instant coffee faced criticism for its flavor. The rapid production process sometimes led to a loss of the nuanced taste found in freshly brewed coffee. The convenience came at the expense of the rich and aromatic qualities that coffee enthusiasts cherished. Instant coffee's detractors often pointed out its somewhat bitter and flat taste, lacking the depth and complexity of a freshly brewed cup. The preservation method affected the volatile compounds responsible for the aroma, resulting in a beverage that left many yearning for the authentic coffee experience.
Because Hamburger Helper can help you make a delicious hearty skillet dinner in a snap.
Hamburger Helper, a kitchen companion from the 1970s, aimed to make mealtime easier by turning humble ground beef into a hearty dish. The preparation involved a convenient one-pan process, combining pasta, seasonings, and sauce mix in a single pot with ground beef. The ingredients were straightforward, usually including pasta shapes and a powdered mix containing spices and dehydrated ingredients. The idea was to stretch a small amount of ground beef into a more substantial meal, catering to budget-conscious households. While Hamburger Helper provided a quick and affordable solution, taste preferences varied. Some found the flavors a bit artificial or overly processed, as the powdered mix sometimes lacked the depth of homemade seasonings. The convenience factor often triumphed over taste, making it a go-to option for busy families despite occasional reservations about flavor. Hamburger Helper's legacy endures as a symbol of quick and economical meal solutions, though debates persist about whether it truly delivered on both convenience and taste. The 1970s had no shortage of questionable culinary creations, and here's another food that left a sour taste in people's mouths. Chicken a la king, a dish popular in the 1970s, attempted to elevate canned or leftover chicken into a sophisticated meal. The preparation involved combining diced chicken with vegetables like bell peppers and mushrooms, all smothered in a creamy sauce made from milk or cream. The ingredients, though simple, sometimes included canned or processed items, contributing to a less than gourmet reputation. The dish aimed for a luxurious blend of flavors, but the execution often fell short, resulting in a gloopy consistency that didn't resonate with everyone. The challenges with chicken a la king were twofold. First, the combination of ingredients in a creamy sauce sometimes led to a texture that some found unappealing, more akin to a mushy mixture than a cohesive dish. Second, the use of canned or leftover chicken, while practical, occasionally introduced a flavor that lacked the freshness associated with upscale cuisine.
This is the #1 best-selling pot pie in America, and here's why.
Banquet pot pies, a frozen convenience from the 1970s, promised a quick and hearty meal in a single serving. The preparation involved enclosing meat, typically chicken or beef, and vegetables in a flaky crust, then freezing the entire package for easy storage. The ingredients were basic, comprising meat, vegetables, and a simple pastry. However, the freezing and reheating process sometimes took a toll on the final product. One of the major criticisms revolved around the crust, which could turn soggy during the cooking process, diminishing its intended flakiness. The fillings, while providing sustenance, often faced complaints for being somewhat lackluster in flavor and variety. The freezing method, although preserving the meal, sometimes resulted in a texture and taste that fell short of the expectations set by homemade pot pies. Banquet pot pies were praised for their convenience, requiring minimal effort for a hot meal. Yet the challenges of frozen food production marred their culinary reputation. As we bid farewell to the bizarre era of banquet pot pies, let's dive into the equally perplexing world of creamed chipped beef on toast and its peculiar flavor combinations. Creamed chipped beef on toast, also known as SOS, was a speedy dish in the 1970s, born out of military rations and adopted into homes as a convenient meal. It involved thinly sliced dried beef, cream sauce, and sometimes added seasonings served over toast. The ingredients were basic, yet the dish's reputation suffered due to its heaviness and occasionally excessive saltiness. The dried beef, having undergone a curing process, contributed to a robust and sometimes overpowering flavor. The cream sauce, although providing a creamy texture, could make the meal feel dense and overly rich. Appearance also played a role in its mixed reception. The combination of thinly sliced beef and a thick, creamy sauce often resulted in a less than appetizing look, leading some to approach the dish with hesitation.
So you tear into Carnation Instant Breakfast. Mixed with milk, as much protein, vitamins, minerals.
Carnation Instant Breakfast, a 1970s marvel, aimed to provide a quick and nutritious start to the day. Marketed as a meal replacement, it came in powder form and required mixing with milk to create a drinkable breakfast. The ingredients included powdered vitamins, minerals, and flavors, aiming to offer a balanced nutritional profile. However, despite the promise of a complete breakfast, many found it lacking in satisfaction. The drink, though convenient, often fell short in terms of providing the fulfilling experience of a traditional morning meal. Critics pointed out that the beverage's taste and texture didn't quite align with the richness and variety of a cooked breakfast. Some also found it challenging to rely solely on the drink for sustained energy, missing the physical act of eating and the sensory pleasure associated with a more substantial morning meal. While we're still on the subject of regrettable food choices, there's one more dish from the 1970s that deserves a mention.
Not having a ball.
Cheese balls, a snack sensation from the 1970s, were bite-sized orbs of processed cheese goodness. The manufacturing process involved blending real cheese with additives to create a moldable mixture, which was then formed into balls and coated with various seasonings. The ingredients, while incorporating real cheese, often included additives and preservatives to enhance shelf life and create a uniform texture. Despite the promise of cheesy delight, the final product faced criticism for being overly salty and tasting somewhat artificial. The appeal of cheese balls lay in their convenience and addictive crunch, making them a popular party snack. However, the strong and sometimes overwhelming artificial cheese flavor divided opinions. Some found the intense saltiness and processed taste less enjoyable compared to the subtleties of natural cheese.